need to do a video about portable antenna masts.
Boy. I should make a video, yeah, about portable masting solutions.
Oh, sorry, man.
Hey, sorry.
Dave,
Hey, Eric,
you want to do a video on portable antenna masts?
I would love to do it.
That sounds awesome.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm David, K9AT, aka Ruffers, and Eric, KC9CUK. Together, we have over 70 years in amateur radio. Hard to believe. And in those 70 years, we've amassed a lot of stuff. And one category of that stuff are masts that support antennas. So we thought it would be really cool to make a masting video, especially with the popularity of going portable with Porta. Disclaimer, there might be others that we haven't mentioned, but together these are the masts that we personally own. If you own other masts, we'd like to hear about it in the comments section below. And as always, if you found the contents of this video interesting, please like and subscribe.
Okay, so here's another example of home brewing. Okay, this is my iteration of the tripod, and it uses ratchet straps. This is a union for PVC pipe, but it's actually a handy thing to have to support the ratchet straps. Strap here is attached to the strap here. So that's what the tripod of my iteration is, and it's a PVC pipe 4-inch with a T connector at the bottom, and then the T, I drilled 2 holes in the PVC pipe, one on either end, and I run a 12-inch landscaping nail in the ground to hold it, and that's what I do. And so it's a simple but sturdy support, so it's not going anywhere. I might update the ratchet straps to a little bit more beefy straps, but for now these are okay. And then the ground anchors are, this is metal and this is a hook to the ratchet strap. So, and these are held in place with a 12-inch landscaping nail as well.
We have these anchor points 80% of the height away.
Okay.
That gives you kind of the optimum anchor point for strength.
Correct.
So no matter how tall you make yours, if you make it 10 inches tall, make your spikes 8 inches away.
Okay.
And that's kind of optimum.
Okay. Very good. There's math in the tripod business.
All right, so this is this quick little jig I made up to make setting up the mounts a little easier. It's just a piece of Dacron rope that I tied up. And if you want to come over here, Dave, you just slip it over the mast. And then as you go over down, you'll see there's a first marker there. It's just a red piece of heat shrink. And then at the end of the rope, there's another marker, which is a red piece of heat shrink. So we just go ahead and stretch this out. And what this is for, it just makes setup easier. Now you know the exact lengths to put your stakes at real quickly. So you just push your stake in there. You come up here. That's for the guide wire. And you push your stake in there, and they're perfectly spaced. Now what I can do is just walk around in a circle and lay them out evenly in every direction. So just a quick tip, you can make one of these really easily out of this piece of Dacron. All right, so we're gonna use this little jig here just to line up the guide wires for the mast mount. And then this allows you to walk around real quick, line up with your anchors, place your stakes in, and we'll come back around here with the drill. And we've got a handy dandy little drill adapter. I'll put a link to this.
Okay.
And this works for all kinds of stuff. Earth anchors, these anchors, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And real easy, we put it on there. I've got the chuck set a little tight here.
Well, that's slick, Eric.
Yeah.
I might even use that for mine.
And these are really good for sand.
Yes.
So these are not good for rocky soil. They'll break, they're plastic.
Okay.
But for sand and this black dirt, they work great.
Okay.
And you don't have to put them all the way in.
Yeah. You're not holding bridges up, right?
Right. And they have an amazing amount of strength, so.
Okay.
There you go. Now what I do, once we get all the stakes lined up and set up, I pull this off, because obviously once we put the guide wires on, you won't be able to get this off, so remember to do that. So while we're talking about stakes, we talked about the little plastic screw-in ones that are good for black dirt, sand. When you get into a situation where it's more gravel, rocky ground, I found pounding in stakes is a problem. Those break right off. What I came up with a solution is a little galvanized lag bolt. So it's 3/4 inch adapter for a socket, so it's easy to put in. And I just put a zip tie up at the top to keep that little washer at the top from falling off. And this is so when it's in the ground, you can put your ratchet strap hook on there and it doesn't slip off the bolt. So this goes in.
That's a great idea, Eric.
This goes in really, really simple. And like I said, even in pure gravel, I've used these. And I'm killing the battery on my drill here. But you get the idea. You can even put them in by hand with a socket. And then you go ahead and your ratchet strap. Well, this one's a little too short, but you go ahead and it fits right on there and it doesn't come off. And it's really strong. I'm pulling on it. It's really hard.
Okay, so here's Eric's finished product, and it's ready for the spider beam or any other mast antenna. So let's go over to Eric. He's got another mast, and he's actually got a gadget in his hand.
So this is just a little cheap. You can get these in any big box store. We'll leave a link to it. It's just an Irwin post level. And what I use these for, all these straps are loose. So the only thing holding this in right now is the stakes. And I just bungee cord this around. And it does help to have a friend kind of look at this for you, but right now we just go for speed. And that allows you to see level. So if we come in close here, Dave, you can see that we need to tighten. You can see really quickly which way you need to make your post to be level. So we need to tighten up this side a little bit here. Let's see here. Can you come this way a little bit? Yep.
Yep.
So we'll tighten this up a little bit. How's it looking, Dave?
Oh, that's good right there.
All right, let's go the other way by you. And we see here that, yep, we've got to come this way. So we'll tighten this one up.
Oh, right there.
Right there. And there we go. And now this is, I'm a 400-pound man. You know, if that one holds your mast, nothing will.
That's right. And we call this home brewing.
Home brewing.
And not to be confused with alcohol.
And this is with the 3/4 inch lag bolts.
Yeah.
That we'll have in the description, of course.
Okay. Okay. So now you're gonna mosey over here and talk about another mast support.
All right. So on that other mast, we showed you we use ratchet straps to connect up to the supports. On this one, I wanted to try something a little different. I wanted something that would be lighter. So we just used Dacron rope, some rope clamps, and then to anchor them to the posts, we use these little beauties.
Ah,
the little cam locks.
Carabiner.
So it's a built-in carabiner with a cam lock support. So you stick the rope through there, and you tighten it like that, and it won't come loose. And you just tighten it, walk around, tighten it up with your level, and you're good to go. So let me show you how that hooks up real quick.
Okay, carabiners are used with mountain climbers.
So I already got the carabiners on here, and all you gotta do is slip the rope through. You gotta make sure you go through the right side. Pull it, and you're done. And that holds it tight.
Okay.
And we just work our way around
To the other 4 or 3.
And by the way, we're sweating it out here. It's about 100 degrees. What we do for ham radio.
We're taking
It's so hot out, the alarm's going off.
Exactly. It's
The tornado test alarm.
right.
So I'm lazy, so I like things that are easy. And this is lightweight, way lighter than 4 ratchet straps. Maybe not as strong, but definitely more portable and a better option for a lot of guys.
Okay.
Sweet.
So these are the 3 homebrew tripods that Eric and I came up with. This is Eric's first. This is Eric's second. And since I'm new at home brewing, this is my third. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess we're done with setting up the tripod. So let's talk about the masts, right?
Yeah, we can talk to make mast here real quick.
As he's fastened the last carabiner.
There we go.
Hey everybody, these are the masts that we're going to review today. We're going to start out with the Chameleon Porta Mast that's right here. And then this is the Penninger mast with the tripod. We'll talk about that more later. This is the Harbor Freight flagpole, okay? And this is a military mast. This is a venerable product. You can get it at most conventions. We'll show the setup of that. And then lastly, we got spider beams in different heights configuration. It's not really a beam, but we'll explain that later. And so these are what we're going to be reviewing today. So fasten your seatbelt and get ready for some reviews.
All right, so this is a simple guide wire setup. This is the same thing that the spider beam sells. And it's just a little fabric collar that you slip over the top of the pole and it slides down into position. I use Dacron rope, little Velcro ties just to kind of keep everything nice and clean. So we're going to show you how that goes on.
Action.
All right, when you order the spider beam poles, one of the options you can get is the permanent clamps to reinforce so they can't slide back into each other. In the field, I like to use 4-inch fat tape, 3M 4-inch tape, and I just tape the joints as I'm putting it up. And that's good for a weekend. But if you're gonna use this more of a permanent situation or really bad weather, you can get the kit. And the kit comes with hose clamps, and some heat shrink and some strapping. And what you do is you end up building these.
Okay.
So this is one built. You've got the rubber on the inside, and then you got the heat shrink on the outside.
Okay, that looks like it would be secure to hold the pipes in place.
And you put this on each section, on the obviously the section above. So when you tighten this up, it can't slide down into the other one if it comes loose.
Right, even though they're twist locked in place.
Even though they're twist locked in place.
Exactly.
Like I said, these are really good for permanent installations or really bad weather. In the field, I tend to use the 4-inch fat tape. I put the 4-inch fat tape dead center of the joint, give it a couple wraps, and that way it's good. And if you were worried about the tape coming unraveled in hot weather, I've heard people talk about that, you could even put a zip tie on there.
Can you show the unassembled one again?
Sure. So they give you
Hose clamps without the strapping around.
hose clamps. You put the rubber strap around, and then you hold the rubber strap with the heat shrink.
Okay.
And you can kind of see on the inside there, you can see that rubber.
Right.
And then on the outside, you can see the heat shrink.
And this is an optional kit with...
Optional kit with the spider beams.
Exactly, but it's an option that a customer can buy when you're getting the spider
Right.
beam.
Or you can make your own. And like I said, when you're putting the spider beam up, you just slip these over the top. So you don't have to loosen every clamp.
Right.
You start obviously with the biggest one and work your way up to the smallest one.
Okay, perfect. That's a pro tip. Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right, so it's recording us, right? Yep. I actually put this up once in there. Jesus Christ. It's a beast.
All right, this is the 60-foot spider beam pole. It's massive. Now, it's a little more difficult to put up because it's higher up when you're sliding up the pieces, and it's a little more flimsy at the top. And then if we walk over here, I don't know if Dave can pan here.
Yep, yeah, I got you in video.
This is the 40-foot. They call it the 12-meter HD. It's a lot easier to put up because it's lower, but it only gives you 40 feet. Now, it's a lot more stout at the top.
Yep.
So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab one of the other masts, I'm gonna bring it over to Dave here, and I'll show you a little trick about the top. All right, we're here with the spider beam. Now this is the 12-meter or 40-foot model. And a lot of people complain. This is a really popular model because this top section is still pretty stout. Okay, but if you do put a lot of weight on it, it starts to bend. One of the things guys talk about all the time is I want to put a 2-meter 440 antenna up here, or something heavy, a beam. What you can do is you can leave that first section pretty much collapsed, tape it there, come up to the next section, leave that pretty much almost collapsed, and then you're at the third section. This is really stout. This will easily hold a beam or a vertical antenna. So basically you're taping all these sections together to make a stronger top, and you're only losing 5-6 feet of mass. So you still have it 30 feet in the air.
Right.
So that's a quick tip if you want to put a little heavier item on one of these lighter poles.
Yeah, or like an end-fed antenna.
Yeah, an end-fed.
Yeah, exactly.
So another tip while we're talking about the end-fed, what I do is I actually leave these. I leave this one all the way extended, and I put a loop at the top. Then I extend this one, then I extend this one. And I mount my end-fed box right here at that bottom of that third section, because this is nice and stout right here.
Okay.
And then I run my wire up out the top of that loop, and then all the weight is on this big third section. And when you guide these, if you decide to use the guide wire kit, that guide wire just sits one section down. So right here, there's a lot of strength.
Right.
But you can never mount that box up at the top of these.
Okay.
So yeah, just try to mount the box like three sections down, run your wire up and out, and that works really good. And this is what we were talking about earlier, where the 60-foot one gives you a lot more height, but it's a lot more flimsy at the top. This is the top element. It's very flimsy compared to the 12-meter HD version, which is only 40 feet, but this top section is way more stout. And we just wanted to show that for people that were considering the difference between the HD 40-foot version and the 60-foot version. So the 60-foot, it will hold small wire, but it's very, very flimsy, and the 12-meter is a lot thicker. A lot of people online were suggesting with these, if you don't want to use these smaller poles, just to leave them out. You can take them, drop them out the bottom. And I don't like to do that because I like to drop them down inside, kind of what I was talking about over there, and I just tape them just at the top there. And then you have the fiberglass rod inside the rod, and it just makes this a lot stiffer than if you just took this out. They're coated so they're nice and smooth, so you don't get fiberglass in your hands.
Right.
Makes them go up a lot easier. When you're taking them up and down, it's really good to have a rag with you to clean them off after you're done for the day. So as you're putting them down, just clean them off, put them back in, then they'll last forever. All right, so when we talked about earlier, you have the heavy duty clamps. You can get the clamp kit for more of a permanent installation or a bad weather. For temporary, like if you're going out for the park for the day, I don't have my 4-inch fat tape with. I just have standard electrical tape. You could use that too. What I do with the 4-inch fat tape is I put the section up, twist it, lock it in, then I put the 4-inch fat tape right dead center on the joint, give it a couple wraps, press it with my hands, and that prevents this from accidentally loosening up and slamming down during the day. And remember, you have tension on it too, which helps hold it when you got the wire on there. But that just gives you a little extra safety, because if you leave these up, trust me, and you can talk to people that own these, if you don't do anything, it's only a matter of time for one of these comes loose and comes crashing down, and it will break it. So just put a little tape on there, cheap insurance.
Hey, Eric. Well, what if you don't have a manufacturer's tripod or our homebrew type tripods? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so if you're out at a park, a lot of times you'll see some type of pavilion with a nice wood post like this. And what you could do, set your post right next to it. Either use large zip ties, a set of nice bungee cords, ratchet straps. I've even seen guys that use those like, they look like giant twisty ties.
Okay.
And you can just put it around, anchor at the top, anchor at the bottom, and this makes a nice mount. You come over, a lot of times you'll find signs at parks that are put in with fence posts just like this. You can do the same on that. You can do the same on a tree. So if you don't, let's say you get out there, and we've all done this. You get out to a park, you forgot your straps, you forgot your bungee cord, and you're sitting here going, well, I can't hold it and talk on the radio. So what you do is you extend it all the way out, tape it up, so you know those joints aren't gonna come down. You can lean it right into a tree.
Right.
And have the antenna come out, and it'll nest itself. I don't know if you can see this, but it'll nest itself right into the branches, and it'll just kind of lean in there. And that also works for an emergency situation. We're gonna show you some other mounts coming up here with the other mast, where you have options for your car, your bumper, your trailer hitch, all kinds of stuff. But this is good for like an emergency. If you can find a fence post, a barbecue grill and concrete, just look around. Anything that's stout that you can mount this to, it'll work.
And Eric, finally, what makes a fiberglass non-conductive mast like that an advantage to a ham radio?
Yeah, so you'll hear a lot of people talk about the aluminum poles being, the metal ones, like the Roans, for example. They're really heavy, but they're conductive. So if you run your end-fed wire up it, it's not gonna work. Your tuning is gonna be all wacko and nuts. The carbon fiber, it's light, it's small, but it's conductive. So once again, you run into problems with that. The fiberglass, it's light, it's strong, and you can run your wire up, make your own little vertical, put your end-fed box at the bottom, go up, do yourself an inverted L, run the wire all along the mast, and it doesn't affect the antenna.
Right, and that's the advantage of
a fiberglass.
non-conductive mast.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the spider beam.
So they're not as, like I said, they're light and they're portable, and they're cost-effective compared to like the carbon fiber.
Right.
The carbon fiber has some superior, obviously it's much stronger. The aluminum is much stronger, but the advantages with the fiberglass is cost, light, and non-conductive. Since we were talking about emergency mounting situations, if you get out and you forgot your anchor, or for some reason you can't put your truck where you want, if you have ratchet straps, you can wrap this in like a towel or piece of rubber, put your hose clamp there, and then attach your rope or your ratchet straps directly to the pole too. Just be careful not to crush the fiberglass. So this can actually be held in place just like this too with nothing. So there's lots of options. All right guys, another quick tip. A lot of people talked about wanting to put VHF, UHF dual band verticals up for like FM work, but it's too floppy at the top. Cool solution I found was these little roll-up Slim Jims. This one's made by N9TAX, and it's just a dual band Slim Jim made out of lantern line, basically a J-pole. And these attach really nice You just tape it right to the fiberglass mast, and that blows in the wind, and it makes a perfect dual band portable antenna. You can have it like 50 feet, and you don't have to worry about there being too much weight at the top. So just another option.
Hey, okay, this is the Harbor Freight flagpole. It's 20 feet high and it collapses down into five 5-foot sections. Currently at Harbor Freight, it's $69, but you know, periodically it goes on sale for $54. It's a good low-cost option to support a wire or a small end-fed Ballon box, and it's great for an HOA, you know, homeowner, which is limited in his antenna operation, because you can disguise this pole with a flag.
A flag.
Right, because it's a flagpole. And by the way, this comes with a plastic sleeve that you can either mount in the ground with dirt or concrete.
And it's fairly light.
Yeah, right.
It is fairly light for portable use.
Yeah, and otherwise we're showing it in Eric's homebrewed tripod, but you know, it's a way to get the end-fed up there for a low amount of money, $54 on sale. And this is another option that is being talked about on the POTA page and Groups.io.
Plus, it's got a nice spline ball for lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's made out of plastic; it won't work, but.
Right, and if you bring this here, you can.
But as you can tell, I'm holding it with 2 fingers. It is fairly light.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
also
fairly light.
Highlight the clips on the pole for the flag. So it's a dual-purpose flagpole and also an antenna mast. Okay, that covers the Harbor Freight flagpole. Hi, okay, so this is the Penninger mount. This is by Penninger, and so what I want to talk about is the tripod attaching to the ground. So it's important to put landscaping nails in at a 45-degree angle so that you make sure that the tripod is securely fastened. This is a company that's actually known for tripods, and because they have the tipper. This is not the tipper. This is the mast I bought, and this is like going back 20 years ago. So it has held the test of time. And so this tripod, I always get questions I get at Hamfest or Field Day. Hey, where'd you get that tripod? Penninger, and they are now located in Tennessee. And so these are really, really well built. These are not cheap, but you get what you pay for. And so this is the mast that I got, which is no longer made because now they have the tipper. But it's 25 feet, and it's in 5-foot sections that collapse. And so getting back to the tripod, since they don't make this mast, I can't talk about it anymore. They have the tipper, which is the replacement. And so I encourage you to go to their website and learn more about the tipper. But they also had a variety of tripods. And this is one of the 3-foot variety, which is, I think, 1.5 OD for the mast. But so depending upon the size of the mast, you can get the proper tripod. And this is, as I said, built to last. This is aircraft aluminum, and it's really impressive. And also these products are made all in the USA. Hi, okay, this is the venerable military mast that you can procure at any hamvention or hamfest.
We also lovingly refer to as the ham radio erector set.
The original purpose for this, for military, because they didn't use it for the antennas, but resourceful hams created this, figured out how to repurpose this for antenna masts. But this is a shield for being out of the sun. So a couple of these would drape, a covering so that the soldiers could be in the shield or shade. There we go. So, okay, so as you saw the video quick sped up, this is how you put it up. And the traditional way are with these pads, okay? And so we found out through trial and error that the best way to use this military mast is without these, okay? Because normally this would be attached here and the last section would be on the ground, but the weight of the mast would be carried through the pole rather than through the three other poles. So what we did is we added a hitch pin, so we precision drilled a hole in the mast, and we mounted it at the top, and so the weight is now held by this pin and also distributed equally throughout the tripod legs. Okay? So if you could pan up, Eric, to the top, or maybe you can have to push out. Okay. So what we got at the top are two options that are available. And so at the top, we have a pulley for the end-fed wire, okay? Or whatever, dipole or whatever. And below that are anchors for guide. So we didn't extend the military mast to the full height, which is I think like 35 or 40 feet, because these are 5-foot sections, and for the purposes of this demonstration we decided not to. And besides, it's hot. So the kit comes with tent stakes. So these are for the guy wires for the ring at the top, and an additional ring. So because if you go all the way up, you really should put 2 sets of guy wires. This is a last mast that we are reviewing, and this is a Ferrari or Cadillac of masts, and it costs like a Ferrari or Cadillac. So this is the Chameleon Porta Mast, and this is the 25-foot version, okay? And so as it comes, it wouldn't have this top piece on. This is the topper. You have to pay extra for it. It's for mounting the Chameleon Delta Loop, that's it. And so it would be mounted on the top, or any vertical antenna or whatever. Or the this is a die cast aluminum, and so it could be available for a rotor or an end fed to mount to this top piece. So in other words, it's not like wimpy. It's really stout. Okay, so this is what comes stock. Okay, this would be on here if this wasn't here, the topper. So I had to pay extra for the topper to have this aluminum piece because it's not part of the kit. Throw that away. Okay, so it comes in 15, 20, 25-foot versions. So I'm showing you 25-foot version, and this mast is really beefy. It has a unique interlocking mechanism, which I'll show you on another video. But it's not like a twist lock like the Spider Beam or the Harbor Freight mast. when I was installing this topper, I was, you know, gonna genuflect to the metric because, you know, all these, you know, ham products are coming from China these days. So I went for the Allen metric set for this screw right here. And, you know, it was sloppy, but then the next size was too big. So I was like, oh my God, this is an American Allen screw. So, so I reached for the Allen set from America, and by God, it fit. So I reached out to Don from the marketing department at Chameleon, and it says, yeah, these are all made in America. So this is 100% made in America product. And as a result, you know, it's you know, not going to be cheap, but it's built to last. And let's see. So the Masts have discounts periodically, and so if you watch for promotions on their website at typically holidays like 4th of July and Labor Day and stuff like that, they have promo codes. So that's how the best way to purchase this at a discount. And this is a beast. I mean, this is by far the heaviest mast. It's not for, I'm not going to say it for, not for Porta, but it definitely is not for soda because of the weight. Because, you know, if you wanted to lug this up to the top of the mountain, you know, be my guest. But you know, it's not what it's made for. So as the old adage goes, you get what you pay for. And so this is a beast. So besides the mast at 25 feet and the topper, let me show you some of the other accessories. Okay, so we've got the hitch, which is right here, okay? And so the hitch mount attaches to the receiver on the truck. And this was an idea that I saw in another YouTube video. This is a hitch receiver to take out the wiggle, okay? And so with that installed, this one wiggle, it would be stout. So in other words, this antenna would not be unstable. Oh, and by the way, at the top of the topper, they have the ability to mount a TV rotor and install a VHF small beam or a lightweight HF beam. So, you know, you don't want to get carried away with this, but it's an option. So besides the hitch mount, we have the drive over mount. Okay, this is parked on the tire purposely, and the mount is installed, and this is not going anywhere, okay? So I've got a couple of options to install the Porta Mast. So today let's go with the tire mount, okay? So, oh, and let me show you too. It was recommended by Don in marketing that I install, or actually when you figure out where the locking feature of the clamp right there is, to put a mark, okay? So that way you can steer the next section of the pipe at that mark, okay? So that's what I'll do, and so I'll be extending it. But if you don't have a truck like me, you can bring, or actually you'd have to bring a ladder because this is taller than your average human, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand in the bed and install, or raise the Porta Mast, okay? So I'll climb in the bed. Okay, so normally you would have something on the top of it like, you know, an end fed or a rotor with a lightweight beam, whatever. So today, for purposes of demonstration, I'm not gonna have anything on the top, but you gotta use the imagination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this black mark here with the next black mark. And it's going to appear okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, here, see, come in. So I'm going to align the mark with the mark right here, okay? So once that's there, give it a twist and then drop it down, okay? And then you bring the next mast up and get that next black mark lined up, okay? Black mark, okay? Okay. And then finally, this is a lot of weight, so you gotta be strong too. There we go. So there's the 25-foot Porta Mast, lined up and secure with the tire mount and ready for any activation that you want to do from the car. Okay, and so Eric brought a good point up that I need to bring up on the video. There is a roll-on and hitch mount available for all the other mounts that we've talked about today. And so this is not an exclusive to Chameleon. So now I'm going to raise the mast from the hitch mount. Okay, marks. Okay, that's the 25-foot mast extended fully on the trailer hitch mount.